How to know our previous lives. Dayform Celestial. Translated by Transin and edited by Care. The hypnotic induction method is one way, but we can also observe ourselves from the life clues found in our previous lives. The universe is holographic. Our life is holographic, and our life information base contains all of the information from all the ages of all life journeys of all generations, and the information is always passed down. This information is hidden, but it will reveal itself every now and then. By capturing these momentarily revealed clues, we can trace our pasts. Understanding the life characteristics of 36-dimensional space is conducive for us to understand more of our previous lives. There is only one kind of human nature, but from the people that we know and those that we know of through various channels, we can see that human nature are diverse and colorful. There are quantum differences between people, sometimes even poles apart. The reasons are that people have different origins. Some are from the heaven world, some from the animal world, and some are reincarnations from the mortal world. Even for those from the heaven world, there are great differences. Those from the Elysium world and from the thousand-year world can never be the same. Likewise, even for those from the animal world, those who were carnivores will have totally different natures than those who were herbivores. In this sense, mankind is a rabble. The mortal world is a tenement yard for all kinds of lives. There are hundreds of thousands of clues to trace our previous lives, but we can only have rough ideas about them from these clues. Here are 18 examples. If you have holographic order thinking, congratulations, then you are from the side of the greatest creator. You are a god. If you have formless thinking, congratulations, then you came to the mortal world from the Elysium world. You were a Buddha. If you know that you can change a world magically, then you were a super celestial being. If you were born to like freedom and always seek happiness and joy, you can follow your heart's desire without overstepping the line, then you were a celestial being. If you often dream of flying freely, your mind and body are often in a strange state of joy, you have no fear of death and hate your life in the mortal world, then you are from the 10,000-year world. If you are always looking for the way back home and feel that you do not belong to the mortal world, you are moreover benevolent and kind, a fun lover. You do not want to be fettered by states, religions, organizations, or families, and you fancy and yearn for a better life in the future, then you are from the 1,000-year world. If you have the Taiji thinking and you are super wise, clever, and gifted, then you are someone influential in society, maybe even a sage or saint. If you love your own nation, culture, family, and family life, and think all this is perfectly justified, then you are a mortal human. If you often dream of flying in your dreams, but still feel attached to the mortal world, then you are a bird. If you derive pleasure from and even love eating meat and have never felt the suffering and misery of life being slaughtered for meat, then you are a predatory carnivore. If you naturally prefer vegetarian or vegan foods, are naturally timid and afraid of being hurt, like to depend on groups, love your family and religion, then you are a docile herbivore. If you inherently want to be a policeman, are very sensitive to theft and crime in society, and always want to arrest criminals, then you are feline, a cat. If you innately want to be a soldier, are willing to defend your land and home, then you are a dog or wolf. If you naturally prefer to take, embezzle, and steal, then you are a mouse or other rodent. If your nature is to bear hardship without complaining, endure bullying without resisting, harbor grudges without showing them in words and deeds, be trampled upon and feel powerless to resist, completely abide by your destiny, then you are a farm animal from the livestock world. If you are naturally aggressive and quick-thinking, good at sorcery, and can derive pleasure from the pain of other life, then you are from the devil world. If you have extraordinary bearing and charming style, are endearing and extremely selfish, then you are a goblin. If you are clever in trivial matters and have mastered a lot of magic tricks, you always watch for your chance to seize others' love and property, then you are an evil spirit. Draw analogies by checking yourself against the dispositions of other life, and you will find traces of your previous lives. Note: life in the inflamed layer, the frozen layer, and the netherworld usually do not directly enter the human world. Insects and many plants belong to other life cycles, which never enter into the human world. The above is only a general outline. If you want to know your previous lives from A to Z, you will have to observe and verify repeatedly. Like attracts like, you can also find your shadows of the past from those people with whom you associate most often and most closely. After reading this article, some people may be excited, but others may be angry. Please calm down, because what you see is your past, not your present. No matter what you were in the past, you are now a human. After you know the coordinate system and your coordinate point, you will have a clear idea of the direction and destination of your life's evolution. If you think this article is bullshit and nonsense, just take it as a fun game. Please refer to the next article, How to Predict Your Own Afterlife. 如何推测自己的来世? How to Predict Your Own Afterlife. Dayform Celestial. Translated by Transin and edited by Care. Everything has the ability to move and develop, and this includes life. When we see a pregnant woman, we know that she is conceiving life. She is having a baby. After the baby is born, we know that it will gradually grow up, move from childhood to adolescence, youth, middle age, and old age. After spring, we know it will be summer, fall, and winter. As long as we know our situation, we can predict our life state in our next phase. To speculate about your afterlife, you first need to understand the non-material structural state of your life. You cannot see your life's non-material structure with your naked eyes. The only way to do this is to examine your own consciousness. You can predict your afterlife according to the characteristics of your own consciousness. Consciousness is the essences of life. Different consciousnesses determine different life states. Some days ago, Foshan Celestial and I went to enjoy a terrace in Yuanyang, Yunnan. When we went deep into the village and I saw how some elderly Hani people were having hard lives, I asked him, these elderly people have suffered in this valley throughout their lifetimes. Will they continue to be here in their afterlives? They should leave this valley. Foshan Celestial replied, they will continue to reincarnate here because they have no other place or world in their consciousnesses unless they desire to leave this valley and learn about the outside world. This answer reveals the secret of reincarnation. Consciousness decides existence. To an individual life, what is not in consciousness does not exist. What is wanted to be exist, it must exist in consciousness at first. As the French philosopher René Descartes put it, I think, therefore I am. Why do I have the nerve to say that I can guide Chanyuan Celestials to the Celestial Islands continent? Because I keep infusing the content of it into them. When they understand all the details about it, especially the characteristics of life and the lifestyles of the super-celestial beings there, and gradually clear away other consciousnesses, they will undoubtedly go to the Celestial Islands continent in their next lives. This is scientific truth. It is meticulous and exact. So, how can you predict your own afterlife? You must read and fully understand life's 18 qualities in humans, beings, and life first, and then you will know. People look alike in appearance, but they are very different deep inside. At the same time, you can check your faults by referring to the Supreme Book of Rewards and Punishments. Here are seven suggestions. If you have killed many dogs, then you will be a dog in your next life. This is karma and exact. You can make analogies for other cases. If you have murdered a person, then you will inevitably go to the hell world, the inflamed layer or the frozen layer. Divine's punishments, though slow, are always sure, with big meshes, yet letting nothing slip through. If you have abused life, then you will definitely go to the hell world, the netherworld. You reap what you sow. If you oppress the good and kind, swindle and cheat, steal and loot, then you will go to the animal world. As you sow, so shall you reap. If you love freedom, but are still ignorant, then you will be a bird. If you owe too many debts that are left unpaid, then you will likely go to the livestock world. If you are kind and hardworking and love your family, culture, and state very much, then you will continue to be reborn as mortal human. Remember the warnings and teachings of Jesus Christ. If you leave a penny of unpaid debt, then you cannot leave the place where you owe it. If you have unfulfilled wishes, then you will return back to the mortal world. You will have to investigate into your past lives. Do not assume that if you forget something, it will just go away. Make a careful list of your wrongdoings from the Supreme Book of Rewards and Punishments. If you find some, do not just let them go, but learn to compensate. Here are six suggestions. If you have harmed animals, henceforth love them. If you have harmed people, henceforth love them. If you owe someone emotionally, pay back the emotion. If you owe debts, pay back the debts. Ask for forgiveness for the damage, abuse, and bullying of people or other life. Do merits as far as possible and do merits according to the teachings of Buddha. Do more formless almsgiving. If your merits are great enough, you can compensate for your faults and debts that have accumulated over many generations. If you have a clear conscience and have paid back the grace of your parents and nature, and if you do not owe a single debt to any person or animal, then you will be free to go to heaven in your next life. Those who talk about spirits, deities, fortune, and disaster, lose nature, are sneaky, speak voices dripping with sarcasm, resort to sorcery, and talk nonsense will become ghosts, demons, and monsters. We can just look at the variety of fruits and flowers that we see. Why are they so different from each other? The reason lies in the structures of their lives. Their different life structures are the differences of their entities, and in the teachings of Chinku and Celestial, their forms and uses will be different. Always remember these four truths. If you eliminate the concepts of family, nation, culture, and religion from your consciousness, are fond of freedom, happiness, and joy, have repaid all your debts in the mortal world, and have done merits, then you will go to the 1,000-year world of heaven. If you often dream of flying and are in a state of joy without having sexual contact, then you will go to the 10,000-year world of heaven. If you possess Buddha consciousness, then you will go to the corresponding Elysium world. If you revere the greatest creator, revere life, take the way of the greatest creator, have obtained supernatural powers, and can fancy an ideal world, then there is no doubt that you will go to the celestial islands continent of the Elysium world. You are the one who knows best about what kind of non-material structure your life has achieved. If you do not know, then your spiritual perception has not yet opened, and you should work at opening it. The above are general ideas and may not be very accurate, but they can serve as a general navigation. You need to draw inferences about other cases from one instance in order to predict your afterlife.